Hey everybody, I'm here at the Health Physics Society annual meeting in Madison, and I ran into some really cool technology that's going to be explained to you by David Goodman. All right, David, show me what you got.
So I'm a nuclear engineer and a photographer. If you think about taking pictures of optical light or low energy photons, you can use a lens to focus those photons onto a CCD or a piece of film. So, what happens if you want to take pictures of high energy photons where those photons or X-rays would interact in your lens? You can't focus them onto a panel. But luckily, physics has provided us a few different capabilities to localize high energy photons, like cobalt-60 or cesium in a nuclear power plant. I'm talking to my detector here, named OSA, and on our leftmost panel, we have a gamma ray spectrum, where we see a photopeak of cesium-137, a photopeak of some other high energy emitters. We can use Compton imaging to localize where radioisotopes are without using a lens. The key point is here, when you look at a gamma ray coming into a detector, the energy it deposits and the scatter angle it makes on the outward direction is correlated by the Compton scatter equation. So we can say, oh, where's my cesium-137 source? I can turn on the rolling camera here, and I can point, I see a cesium-137 source in my spectra. Where is my source? This hotspot in my map overlaps with my finger. And similarly, maybe there's a low energy source that does not have Compton scatter. We can use occlusion-based techniques where you put a tungsten pattern in front of our detector to localize these sources. But from a big picture, imagine you have a flashlight and you have some sort of image plane. You can imagine putting a shield between your flashlight and your image plane and recording where the shadow falls on your image plane as a function of source position. This shadowgram encodes the source information, which lets me localize this low energy cobalt-57 source. But the neatest thing, in my opinion, Rob, is that we don't need to use a lens such that we can image photons in all directions here. So I have a cobalt-60 source on the backside of my detector, and we can actually localize the source living on the backside of my detector because the lens we're using from physics is just Compton scatter behavior. So if you're ever in a nuclear power plant or responding to some sort of emergency, maybe you can localize where your source is using either of these modalities to better quantify and characterize these objects.